viewers. We are happy to have you again on Parenting Chat. The last episode, we spoke about child protection. Our expert, Mr. Kunle Sani, like we said, is still with us for this episode. So we welcome you. We do hope that all you've heard, you are mindful of them, using them. And as you learn more today, we believe that our children shall be the better for it. Mr. Sani, you are welcome once again.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much. Mrs. Adeniji, our dear moderator, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we continue from where we stopped.
Okay. Thank you again, Mr. Sani, for coming.
Thank you.
I'm aware that in developed parts or developed countries, there are rules and laws protecting children. Do we have things like that in Nigeria, and are they being enforced?
Okay. Yes. Thank you for having me once again. I'm quite very happy to be here again. There are rules, of course, there are laws guiding. The beautiful thing about this protection that we talk about is because there are laws, there are fantastic laws which are promoting this and making it easier for us to go out there and then do as the law requires. So at the global level, we have what we call the United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child, UNCRC, and that is the law which every, I think 195 countries out of 196 have signed and ratified. I mean, all the 196 have signed, but only one country have not ratified. And then, maybe I don't think but the country that have not ratified is only the United States of America. And that does not mean that they don't have fantastic laws. They have laws which I think that is about maybe global politics or something. So that is the global document which seeks to protect the right of children all across the world. And Nigeria is a signatory to that treaty, and it also have also ratified it. And then after that was done, our countries in Africa came together and said, yes, there are peculiar issues in Africa. There are things happening around Africa which are not particularly spelled out in this United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child. So we need to address it. Issues of tribal marks, issues around genital mutilation, things that were happening in Africa. Circumcision. You know, I mean, so they have to specifically mention it in Africa. So the African, the Organization for African Union, which is now known as AU, now came up with a law which we call the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of Children. So that makes it, and that is the only, it makes Africa the only region that has a region-specific document seeking to protect the right of child, because we are unique. You know, we are unique people in every way. So we have that in Africa. So Nigeria also signed that in 1991 and also ratified it around. I think that law became into force in 2000 in Africa. So all the countries in Africa, all the 54 countries have also signed it and ratified. So we needed to bring it down, to take it home. And so we could not just say, oh, we have the UNCRC, we have the ACRWC, and then so we had to match all the things that are contained in this document. And that gave birth to what we have today as a Child Rights Act in Nigeria. And so that Child Rights Act came into being in 2003, which was passed into law by the National Assembly in July 2003, if I could remember. And then was assented to by President Olusegun Obasanjo in September 2003. And so Lagos, Ogun, and some few others became the early states, which was also domesticated, because the thing about the law is that you have to domesticate the state in the country. I mean, the other state, the 36 states have to take it to their state to domesticate it so that they can also personalize it. So at that level, at the federal level, becomes the Child Rights Act, and at the state level, becomes the Child Rights Law. So Lagos State have what we call the Lagos State Child Rights Law. Ogun State have what we call the Ogun State Child Rights Law. But as of today, we have only 8 states which have, so we have about 29 states which have signed, domesticated the law in their respective states. And so that makes it beautiful for us to have a law. So in all these 28 states, in all these 20, about 29 or there about 28, they have laws which seek to protect children in Nigeria. So it's not just things that when we're talking about child protection, it's not just a wish. It's something that is enacted by the laws of the country. And so our children are protected by law.
So on basis of these laws, one could sue any institution or whoever.
Very well. You could sue any institution, you could challenge anybody, because there are provisions in that law. And we talked about child protection, which was about child survival. The basic, the four aspects of which you call the categories of rights of children: right to development, right to development, education, right to survival, right to protection, and right to participation. So all these, the laws has several. When a child commits an offense, what is supposed to be done to the child? Because a child that commits an offense is not meant to be treated like an adult. So there are different ways. And a special child, like a child even with disability, is meant to be given special care compared to a child that is able-bodied. So there are provisions in this law which takes care of all these things. The way our shelters need to be run, orphanages, the way it's there in the law, how they should be run. If you want to seek for adoption, fostering children, the law permits people who are not families of children to take in children, but to take them into their homes and take good care of them. But there are provisions in the law which are also there. So there are a whole lot that the law makes provisions for. So it's just for us to make good use of these laws.
Thank you very much. I'm aware that there are certain principles that guide child protection.
Yes.
Could you enlighten us on those?
Yes. From the laws, from those laws that I mentioned, from the global to the regional and then to the national and then the local, the states. So there are all these laws. There is what we call the guiding principles for them. That in these laws, these are the things that are guiding these laws and the implementation, even from preparation to implementation. Really. So the first of them is the principle of the best interest of the child. That in everything that is done, that the best interest of the child must be considered. This means that when we say the best interest of the child, it does not mean the wish of that child, or it does not mean the wish or what the parents want for the child. It does not mean what the community wants for the child. It means that what the child will need to be able to develop into functional adults. And so when the child, it means that the things that the child will need to have a normal childhood, a better childhood. And so when he or she becomes an adult, he's able to function very well in the society. So it's not about things that I desire as a person towards the child. So, and a typical example of things that go on in the environment is when somebody encounters a child that has stolen, and then, or maybe, okay, let me not use, there's something that is going on, and I think there's a video of a small boy who is with the mother, and he was carrying a bottle of beer.
Yes.
So that video is circulating. Mm-hmm. Principle of best interest says that video is not supposed to be circulated, because it is not in the interest of that child, because adults have responsibilities towards children. It's not the child that have responsibilities towards adults. So the adults around there ought to have stopped that child from taking alcohol. And so we need to protect that child, because that child is not the one really committing that offense. It is the adults who have failed in their duties. So, and then this child is going to grow up and become an adult, and is going to get to position of authority, position of power, and the rest. And then this child may become embarrassed by that situation, which he at that level did not have control over. And so, as a result of that, so when we are looking at the principle of best interest, that it is not in the best interest of that child to display such picture or videos in the public, to have it in the public, because it could harm the child
in the
future, and it could. The future is even here because
Yeah.
that child, the particular video we're talking about is of a child of. I think the child is more than 3 years old.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a 4-year-old.
So this child could get to age 7, and then see such video, and then it could either make that child lose his sense of seriousness, as in acting like, and or it could also make the child feel looking for. The child could now begin to even do that more because at least I've been doing this when I was 3. Now I'm a big boy, I can do it better.
It becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit. So but if he never had that experience, even if they are saying it, but he never sees the video. But at least now he will be seeing it. He will see himself. When I was little, I've been drinking. You don't know anything. You're a small boy,
Or on the other side, it could affect his self-esteem.
Yes, it could affect his self-esteem. And then the principle of best interest also says that because we know that yes, adults, you want to drink, because we know that alcohol affects the well-being of the child. It affects the health of the child. It affects the brain, the way the brain of the child functions, and so a child should not be exposed to alcohol and be allowed to take alcohol. So because of that, it is not in the best interest, because it's going to affect the functionality of that child in future. So the principle of best interest is looking at that we do things for the child that those things are going to help the child become a better person and also have a childhood that is deserving. The kind of childhood that the child deserves. So that is the first principle of which guides everything that we do for the child. All the laws, when they were preparing it, they had to consider the principle of best interest of the child. That even, yes, if we say that a child that has committed an offense, should we go and put the face of the child in the public? No, because I always say this, that what happens to somebody like a notorious robber who has become born again today? And so it means that the child has opportunity to be reformed, to get better, to be rehabilitated. So why now go forward to expose that child to the public? So when that child now becomes someone better, the damage has been done, the image has been destroyed. And so the principle of best interest is saying that all these actions that we take that are not in any way helpful to that child, to the present and the future of the child, we must retrace our steps and begin to do things that help the future, the well-being of that child, and then and something that will make the child become a functional adult in future. And so apart from that, we also have the other principles, which we have a principle of non-discrimination. We also have principle of survival and development, and we also have principle of participation. I'm going to break them one by one.
Okay, that will be in the part B of the episode. Thank you so very much. So, principle of best interest of the child, principle of survival and development, principle of non-discrimination,
and principle of
participation. So, you will explain this to us in the part B of the episode. We'll be back. Thank you.